Yo, what's good with y'all? On today's YouTube video, I'm gonna teach y'all how to make a fire underground preset. What a record preset basically is, it's a preset that you connect to your main preset. So you would add in your record preset, then you would add in your main preset next to it. You would put it on input 1, and you would click on this and put it on post track if you're gonna record, and then you would connect it to your main preset. Take this one, insert 3 was my main preset. I would click on record preset and then click on this, and then disconnect record preset from this one. That's how you guys gotta record, but I did it with this one. And what you guys add on the record preset, auto tune, booty limiter, and you can add a EQ or a compressor. I add a compressor. I don't really like using EQs and stuff, but with auto tune is pretty basic. All you gotta play with is the V-tune speed, the humanize, and the flex tune. You guys don't gotta use flex tune. You guys can use humanize. It does like the same thing basically, but I like flex tune better. It kind of still like has a tune to it in my opinion. You guys can't really play with the settings, but I play with these two. With the noise gate, I use booty limiter. That's a stock FL plugin, but you guys can use any noise gate y'all want. Click on the presets if you're using booty limiter, and click on, and then lower this down because it's gonna take out your voice a lot. But basically, lower it if you guys don't want to take out as much background noise, and higher it. You want to take out more background noise, but if you higher it too much, it can make your vocals stop like y'all can hear. The reason why I added compressor to my vocals is to make them louder, and I'm gonna put up a picture right now. Look at the size of them. They're all in the same range unless I talk lower on purposely to like show emotion or something. But so I recommend leaving the gain 15 to 20. That's really like the golden point. I leave mine around like 19, 20 range, 18 on the higher end. And also leave this right here. Just leave this like 3 to like 4 dB, negative 4 to 3 dB. In my opinion, that's the best settings for this. With EQing, it's pretty simple once you know what you're doing, so I'm gonna try and explain it in the most simple way. With all of these points, what you gotta do, you gotta lift them up, and you hear these loud sounds, like, you guys, that's basically bad sounds you don't want in your voice. But you don't want to lower them too much. I know y'all thinking, oh, it's a bad sound, I should lower it like this all the way down. But that's gonna make your vocals slow thin, and it's gonna take all the character out of your voice and all the body, and it's gonna make it sound really bad. So you don't want to take it out too much, but you can hear it. Like, you gotta have an ear a little bit for it and drag it down, and you'll hear when it goes away. That's the same with all of these points. You just find these harsh sounds, and you're gonna drag them down. What this one is doing is basically taking out the rumble. It's a low shelf. Like, look, y'all can hear it like it's more bassy and stuff, but it's not a good bass, it's like a bad bass, so you guys want to cut most of that out. You guys can leave it anywhere between 60 to 120, but I leave mine 70 to 90 because I still want that natural sound in my voice. I don't want to take out too much or too little, and also drag it down a little bit. Like, just feel in this range and see what you like the best on your voice, really. And what this one is over here is a high shelf, and you guys can lower or higher this. If you lower it, it's gonna make it more muffled like this. But this is how you get your vocals like really crisp. Basically, just make a high shelf. Here's how you do it on this plug. You click on this, click on shape, high shelf, and then raise it. Look, but if you raise it too much, it's really like ugly, like some shitty ass kankan vocals or some shit. But in my opinion, leave it like this range, and it's gonna be really crispy and like really good vocals. Like, look, it sounds really dull like this, but if I do this, like, it's night and day. This is really like the thoughts that like everybody be using, Cheyenne them, like all that crispy vocal stuff, like belly. Like, you know them crispy vocal people, you know what I'm trying to say? Like those people. On the second EQ, you do the same thing, but you don't take out as much because you did most of it in the first one. But with this one, I have another high shelf, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. Like, listen. The S's are kind of come off more subtle. In my opinion, that's what this does. I just do a high shelf like that, negative 2 dB to make the S's come out really good. And I did all the same stuff. I explained all this on the first EQ. With compression, it's a little bit more complicated to explain, but basically what compression is, it makes all your vocals the same, like, not the same exact volume, but in the same range. Like, look, with it off, like I'm talking and I can whisper like this, or I could do like, talk louder and stuff, and it's like, really like, it can hurt your ears a little bit, but with compression, it don't do that. Like, I can talk low, I can talk louder, and it still all sounds good. I'm gonna explain what everything do, but bear with me, cause I don't know the by book meaning of everything, but I'm gonna explain it so I can understand. I got y'all. I leave the threshold negative 30 to negative 35, just leave it in that range, or you guys can play with it to your voice silly. You know, like, you up it like this, you guys can hear the difference in the like vocals and stuff. I recommend leaving it like around here. And with the ratio, I don't know exactly what it do, but I know it like compresses your vocals more, and the higher it is, the more like punchy your vocals can get. That makes sense to y'all. So I recommend leaving it like that. 6 to 8, really, that's like best range. And then raise the gain, cause higher in the ratio and low in the threshold is gonna make your vocals lower, so just higher the gain to your liking. I recommend 10 to 13, really. And with the tack, it's basically, the lower it is, amazing. And with the tack, it basically means the lower it is, the more compressed it is, kinda. So I recommend leaving it between 15 ms and 8 ms. So I recommend like 10 range, that's pretty good. And the same thing with release, but it's opposite. So the higher release is, the more compressed the vocals is. So for that underground sound, I recommend leaving it at like 200 to 300, really. That's like the best spot. And then this one is the type of compression it is. You guys can have a soft compression, a vintage compression, medium, hard compression, all of that. I recommend for that underground sound, leave it on soft. But again, you guys can play with it. You guys can play with these little stock FL presets, but I won't be messing with them or nothing. This isn't an actual saturation plugin, it's just Maximus, which is a multi-band compressor, and it's the same thing as Sound Garager, it just looks like more complicated. So basically what I did was I clicked on presets and I clicked on C. Now look, it doesn't sound the best because it's just like Sound Garager mode C. But look, what I did was I raised the middle. The middle basically adds more body to the voice, as you guys can hear. You know, you guys can have it loud, have a lot of body in the voice, but I recommend leaving it in this range. With the greenish yellow one does basically adds the crispiness to the vocals, like, you know, I'm extra crispy now. But this one does, the red one, adds more bass to the vocals, more bass in your voice. It can make your voice more deeper, you know what I'm saying? It can really bring that natural sound out to your voice. You guys can play with it to your liking, but you guys don't really have to play with this stuff. I recommend leaving it as is, but if you want extra thick vocals, you know, play with it, see what you guys like. With reverb, I use stock. That's what most underground rappers use, or they use Valhalla, whatever the fuck that shit called. But basically what the decay time is, basically how long the reverb like lasts. Like listen. Ooh. See what I'm saying? It has that little like, it lasts really long and shit. Leave ER, which is early reflection, on 100 and leave the wet level on 35 or in this range. You guys don't have to copy these settings exact because it's an effect, it's reverb, but it doesn't really matter, you know what I'm saying? It's an effect on the voice, so you guys can play with it to your liking and make it sound good. With the EQ over here, you guys gonna want to keep the high cut between 4,000 and 8,000. In this range, you guys can go higher, like feel free to play with this 100%. With the low cut, keep this between 200 and 500. And the size of the reverb, I don't really know what like the by book definition of this again, but keep it between 40 and 70. You guys can even like keep it like, you see what I'm saying? You guys can hear it. You guys can hear the difference. And like, you know what I'm saying? So keep it between 40 and 70 in this range. Play with it again to your liking. You guys don't gotta copy this at all by book. What delay is, it's not like the echo delay, it's like pre-delay. Basically the time between the reverb hit, like 70 milliseconds until the reverb hits on the voice. Like the voice starts playing and then the reverb comes 70 seconds after, like 120 milliseconds after. Not a second, milliseconds. It's like really small. It's not like too noticeable, but if you put it on like 1,000, like you can hear the difference. It comes on way later, but I recommend leaving it 70 to 120 ms. That's really like the best thing. And you guys can put it on tempo so it's bass and it blends with the beat. Like, we'll go with the BPM. We'll go with the BPM of the beat, is what I'm trying to say. And what damp does basically makes the vocals more crispy. Not more crispy, more like, but like make the reverb more crispy, makes it more like shiny. Really got that more presence to it. And what bass does, it adds more bass to the reverb, makes it more deep, bassy, more low end in it. You guys can play with it to your liking. I leave dampening in this range. I leave bass. You can really leave like bass anywhere. I just wouldn't go like below this, in my opinion, unless you guys don't want no bass in your shit. But again, play with it. But most niggas do put it on max a lot. But you know, you guys can download this preset too. I'm gonna leave it in the link below. With delay, it's the echo. It's like how many times it repeats. Like, you guys hear it repeating myself? Like that. I'm gonna teach y'all how to like really get the settings right with this. So basically what this is, it goes by notes basically. So if you have, no, this plugin actually don't go by notes, but most delay plugins do go by notes, but I'm gonna explain it. So basically the higher the time is, the later it's gonna come, look. But the lower it is, the faster it's gonna come. You guys see? So you guys are gonna wanna play with this still liking for real. You guys don't gotta keep pitch if you guys don't want to. You guys can play with these settings. I don't really touch these, I just keep it on keep pitch. And what this is, you can have it stereo, you can have it ping pong, you can have it mono. You can ping pong basically means it goes left and right in your ear. And what this one is, it's the amount of feedback it has. The higher it is, the more feedback there is. But if you have it too high, You guys can hear how it's getting just there. It gets really like loud and obnoxious. But it really depends on the type of music you make. And what the cutoff does, it basically makes it more muffled. You guys can hear if I have it really like crispy. Like that. So I'll leave it in this range though. You guys really, this is effects, y'all. Like, there's no real settings for this, but like how it looked when I first opened it is really like how most of them look. And then we got feedback renaissance. Basically what this is, just added feedback renaissance, like its name and stuff. I recommend leaving it 5 to 15%. It really also depends on the vocals, just play with it, folks. And what this one is, as tone makes it more crispy. You guys can make it more muffled. Also, like, it kind of does what cutoff does, but it does it in a different way, I believe. And what this one is, feedback distortion. You guys can make it more distorted. Just make sure it's on sat. But it does sound crazy if you guys have it distorted. But I recommend leaving it on like 5. And what this is, it's modulation. It's basically just, you can get more complex with the time. So look, you can really like change it. You can make it line up. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's basically what it is. It changes you guys hear all that? Like, it changes the timing of it, so you guys can be more specific and it can match the beat better. If you guys don't want to do all of this, you can just click the link in the description below and download the preset instead of making your own. And you guys can just edit it to your liking. Or you guys can come cop a custom preset. I got hella vouchers, I'm gonna put it up right now. I really like make people sound like anybody, and I make it to your liking. So it's gonna sound like amazing no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm also gonna put up FL Studio. I ain't gonna say too much on it, but we got FL Studio, we got all the plugins, we got like everything you guys need. And let me know what videos y'all want, what presets y'all want, what else y'all wanna know. I could go over like chorus and stuff, flanger, all of that, like the real like other effects. But this is pretty much just a basic underground preset and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just make sure you send a daily pity God. I cannot stress that enough, y'all. God is everything. Don't fall into the lust, the temptation of the devil. Real, God got your best interest, you know. And I appreciate y'all.